Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on speeding and speeding violations and reports. I'm glad you could all join us today in our time to spend together to learn a little bit more. So you'll notice on the little box that comes with the GoToMeeting that there's a spot there for questions, so feel free to type any questions in there, and I'll see if I can't get them at the end. And if we don't get to your question, feel free to give us a call here at the office anytime for help. We, as always, the unlimited ongoing training is here for you guys, so we want to make sure that you get the most out of your system. So today what we're going to talk a bit about is speeding scenarios, alerts, notification reports, and just how to use all of that. So we're in Nero's portal here, and what we'll look at first is a scenario alert, and I'll just show you right here on your summary. Whenever you do log in, you're going to get a snapshot of all your vehicles. Once you've set up a scenario for speeding, if any vehicle exceeds that, you're going to get this little hazard sign right here. Now this is also going to show up for any other scenario alerts as well. So the only way to find out which alert it is by clicking on the little hazard sign, which takes you straight into your reports, and then we can see right away, okay, this one's actually had a tow notification and it's been idle. It doesn't have any speeding, it's had a zone violation. If it was speeding, it would show right here. So again, on your homepage, on your summary, your alerts, anytime any of your vehicles do something outside the parameters we've set up, you'll get this little hazard sign, and just by clicking on it, you can find out exactly which parameter they've been outside. So there's your scenario alerts, really quick and easy. As you can see, there's only one on there for our demo 3, and we got to look directly at that. So where I'm going to go next is to our administration page, and this is where we will look at the actual scenarios that get set up. Now, if you are a user within the system that you don't have the ability to manage permissions and make changes to the system, you will never see any of this. It would be somebody else in the organization who would have the ability to create the programming or make changes to it. So when we're on the administration page, when we click on it, the first thing we see is all of our scenarios. So I'm going to scroll down to the 2 that we have. Now you do have a maximum of 2 speeding scenarios that you can set up. So we have one, which is a speed alert. This is just the name we've given it. So we have a speed alert and a slow down you bozo. So this one is saying that any speed over 110 kilometers an hour for all 10 of these vehicles, anytime the vehicle goes over 110, it will create a speed alert. Anytime a vehicle goes over 130, it will create the slow down you bozo alert. Now, what you might wonder is, why would I want 2? Well, here's the beauty of it, because with any scenario, if you click on the actual scenario, we get to go in and look at it. So we see the name we give it, that it's speed monitoring. It's going to generate anytime when the speed is greater than 110. We get to determine when that applies. So this one is 24/7, so it's happening all the time. We could, make it just for work hours. We could be really specific. It could only happen on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can define it completely of when you want this to apply. We also have this notification. So as you can see, we don't have anyone being notified for this speed alert when the vehicle goes over 110. We are able to pull a report for this, but we don't have anyone being notified right then. And then we also, in the scenario, define which vehicles this all applies to. With having two scenarios, this would mean I can pull a report that will show me every time a vehicle goes over 110. But because I have another scenario that's set up for being the speed over 130, I can actually get an email or a text right to my phone, or I could set it up to text or email directly to the driver if they go over 130. So you've got lots of variables then that you could set up. So I could create a scenario that at 110, I just want to be able to know when my vehicles are going at, but when it's 130, I want to know real time and be notified right then, so I can either call the driver or I can have a text sent directly to the driver so that we know they've exceeded the speed which is acceptable. So that's a couple options there for you. You can see when we do create it, we can create this speed to be at any level. So if you have vehicles that never leave the city limits, and so they're never driving on a highway, you can set that speed significantly lower so that it would apply. If your trucks are governed to never go over 80, then you would definitely want to set the speed lower as well. So when I get a notification, it will be an email or a text right to my phone or straight to my email, whichever way. I also, like I said, can pull a report. So I can go back within my last 4 months, because that's what's available to me on the system. I have this speed violation report. So I can pull a report on all of my vehicles. Again, can look at it by date and time, so I can look at each day separately and see what happened on each day, or I can group it by vehicle so that I can see each vehicle separately. I can choose a day, or I can choose a time frame. I can pull the last 2 months. I can pull a maximum of 25 days on one report, but I can pull the 2 months with any time of the last 4 months that's available on the system. If I want to look at all the last 4 months, because I haven't looked at this for a while, I can do it. I would just have to pull the report twice. Whatever I decide to pull, I just then simply click on Create Report, and then I can look here. It's going to give me a summary. The total violations I had yesterday were 7, and my finance vehicle had 7, so I know that that's the only one who's going to have any. If it was more than one vehicle, it would be split up and it would show. So I can scroll down. It gives me the date and time. It tells me the nearest address, the scenario alert, and the speed it was traveling when it generated that alert. And you can see that I've got one here at 130, and it shows up as a speed alert, not slow down you bozo, which is the name for our other one, because it wasn't over 130. So you can just see all the details you get for each vehicle. So at any time you can pull this manually. The beauty with this report as well, with your speed violations, is that you can set up a scheduled report so that it is emailed to you automatically either daily or weekly. And so I've got one here that I've set up. Again, we decide, is it daily, is it weekly, who does it go to, and I'll show you in my email what that looks like when you receive it. Oops. There we go. So it's going to come in to my email. mobile monitoring reports. I click on it. It's got my speed bonus program. That's the name I gave that report. When I click on it, it just shows it right here. So this is the same information because I have it from yesterday. Gives me my summary, the violations, the most violations, and then it breaks it down by vehicle. So same information, except that I didn't have to manually pull it. It was just in my email this morning when I came to work. So I could have that sent, like I said, I can have it emailed to me daily or weekly, and then it's all the information is right there for me to review quickly and easily, and then just file away. Okay, so that's setting it up as a scheduled report. So just started to recap, we can set up 2 separate alerts as scenarios. For those of you who have the permission to set up scenarios, we've got 2 here, separate ones. Either or both of them could be an instant notification right away by email or text, or they can be just pulled up on a report for review, and that report can be emailed to me automatically either daily or weekly. But those notifications also come right here under my scenario alerts. Okay, so there are a couple other places that I do recommend if you want further information and want to do a little bit deeper investigation. Say you've got a speeding violation and you just want to know, okay, well, I see that, but was that an all-day kind of thing? How long were they speeding? I can pull actually a route log, and this is the one I recommend for further investigation because it's going to give me all my information. So I had speeding notifications yesterday for my finance vehicle, so I'm going to pull the route log for the finance vehicle. And this is for yesterday, so it's going to plot my information on a map so I can see exactly where this vehicle is. And then over on the side here too, it plots it out with everything, every single locate, every ignition, every start, everything, every speeding violation. So I can, my started day, because I did it descending, is at the bottom. So I can just quickly scroll through here and I can see the speed for every time a locate or anything was done. I can see the speed they were traveling. So I can quickly see, okay, well, here at 12:14 the vehicle was doing 100, and then, you know, at 12:14:49 it was doing 116, then it was down to 102, and I put 120. You know, I can see that the vehicle was traveling quite fast for a while there, but then it popped back down and up. So it's probably, you know, just, you know, following traffic and driving with it. But I can also see when a vehicle, like minute after minute, is over the threshold that I've set and for how long it was doing that. So I can really drill down and look at more information. I also have the ability, when it goes up here, to click where it's blue here. Remember, anything in your portal that's this blue color is a link. So I can click on that, and it's going to put it, zoom the map in right here. So there it is right there. You have to go with the directional arrows. This is going north here, or east technically. But so I could see it did a locate at 117 kilometers an hour. Okay, so when my speed scenario is set up for 110, when my vehicle goes up over 110 and maintains that for a bit, like up to a minute, it's going to generate that speeding violation. But I can then get more information off of my route log to see just how long it was traveling at that speed, if it was maybe just passing a vehicle, or if it was traveling for like half an hour or an hour at those kind of speeds. And I can also see not only the address of where it is, but see it on a map and go, oh, okay, yes, that's the area of that highway where the speed limit is a lot higher and it's fine. Or is it a concern? Is it actually happening on a, city street where they should be going nowhere near this speed? Okay. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take any questions right now and get them answered. If you can't think of one right now, but you think of one in a couple of minutes, feel free to give us a call here at the office, and I'd be happy to help. Thank you for joining us today, and you'll be receiving an email shortly about when the next webinar will be, probably in a couple of weeks, and what the new topic will be. Thanks so much for joining us today.